Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Sometimes you have to push harder. Sometimes you have to just go harder. You know, no matter what you're doing, if you, especially on that path to success, you might have some plan to do whatever. You know, to start that cooking, show, start a restaurant, write a book, write that song, start that business. And you going at a certain pace. And, of course, as I've always said, that, success is not a straight line. It's more like a squiggly ball. Sometimes you just got to push harder because you're going to come across those obstacles. Or sometimes you might get to a place, and even when you in that business or whatever that you're doing, yeah, you get to a certain point, but then you stay stuck there. Sometimes you got to go harder. Sometimes you got to push harder. That's just life. That's just life. Sometimes whatever you're doing isn't enough. You might love doing it and you might feel good doing it, but it's not enough. And there's no problem with that. That's just life itself. Sometimes you got to go a bit harder. You might want to make more money. You might want to do better in it. Or you know what? Sometimes it might not, whatever you're doing might not work. It might not be working, even though you want to do it. Okay, you're going to have to go harder. It's just like, I'm known for talking about hitting the gym or something. And sometimes you might be hitting it and lifting the weights and everything, but you're not getting the goals that you want to get. Sometimes you might have to lift harder. You might have been bench pressing 225, but you're not going any further from that. Sometimes you might have to go to 250, 275, 315, whatever the case. You might been that person who you can run maybe a mile, but to really get a gain, you might have to run 2 or 3 miles. That's just life. That's just life. It's nothing to get mad about or just say, oh, why is it? Because one thing in life, it makes us go further. It makes us learn better. It makes us do better. Sometimes we just got to. We could just be getting older or something. We got to go a bit harder in whatever that we're doing. We can't do it like we was when, if, we're 60, we can't do stuff like we could when we were 20. So we have to move harder. Think about any of the goals that you want in life, any of the goals. And you might have to go a bit harder to get to that goal. Or, you know what? You might have reached that goal, but then you get to a point you're getting stagnant. You're not doing. It's not feeling the same. That means you might have to push harder, and that's just in life. No matter what you want to be successful in, it could be in relationships. It could be in just making money. Let's be real. Let's talk about that money thing. That's one thing that many people have in common. Trying to make more money. Hey, sometimes you might have to work a bit harder. Yeah, you on that job, but you wanna go further. You wanna get a raise. You wanna get more money, something like that. Or even get to the point where you can get another job. Well, you're gonna have to work harder on that job. You're gonna have to work smarter on that job. You're gonna have to do better. And it's just life. It's just life. There's no shame in it. Now, you don't want to be, you still want to enjoy it. You still want it to be something that is a part of who you are. Okay, that's cool. But sometimes you can't be in cruise control. There's a lot of people who, they might not have finished that book they were working on or whatever plan that they had. They just, do it whenever. They're not going as hard as they can, as hard as they should. Sometimes you might have to work harder. You have to look at it. Now, for every person, it's going to be different. But you need to ask yourself, no matter what it is, I don't care what it is, what the endeavor is, you have to really look at it and really ask yourself, Okay, am I doing everything that I can? Is there more? And indeed, that's part of your lesson anyway. You might have to learn something new. You might have, hey, you know, whatever you in, you might have to go back to school. You might have to go harder in it. Even when you're in school, do you want to be a C student or do you want to be an A student? You know, you always want to be at your best, no matter what it is. And you do want to present your best. If you're in a business, do you want to just be an okay business person or you want to be that top-notch business person? I don't care what it is. If you're in a relationship, are you doing what you can to really make that relationship go to the next level? Think about that. Think about that. Everything, I don't care what it is, no matter how small, you know? If you're trying to lose weight or something, are you going harder? Or you just going and just can't figure out what it is? It's like, well, you might have to go a bit harder. I don't care what it is. And sometimes you might have to do that. Especially, and there's a lot of people out here, you know, they want to make more money. They want to do better in their relationships. You know, they might want to live in a better place. You know, they might want to get that business going, that dream going. You know, let's talk about that. We got to push hard. If you're trying to make a dream come true, you typically have to push hard. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like I'm going to say it again in this video, and I'm going to say it again in the future. Success isn't a straight line. You know, you're going to have to push harder to climb out of that hole, to get past that detour, to go over that wall, or in some cases go through that wall. You have to do that if you want to really do the things that you want to do. And you know what? And some people might say, well, that's tough. That's all of that. Well, how badly do you want that goal? How badly do you want it? How much do you want it? You need to really think about that. How badly do you want to go to that higher level? Because whatever you're doing now, if it's not working for you, that means you might have to go further. You know? Like, I wish, you know what, I really do wish life was just easy. I wish it was. We could just go out, everybody can just do their thing. No, you're going to have to do harder. If you, job, relationships, whatever, you have to go harder. Sometimes you have to push harder. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in that at all. You know? Because I'm going to tell you what, when you do push harder, you do get a reward. You do feel better. All right? And I want you to think about that. Really think about that. Whatever you want to do in life, you know, whatever goal that you have, and you're not making it, hey, sometimes you just have to go harder, okay? So I want y'all to think about that. And I want everyone to rise to still, as always, to become the best version of themselves. All right? So, peace and blessings.